So, I know it might seem a bit stupid, but it's important to me. It is currently an argument with my family. I, 25, female, had my prom in 2017, and I bought my entire prom outfit for myself due to my family not having the best economy, and I saved for over a year to be able to buy my dream dress and jewelry, everything in total about $300, which is a lot for us. I had an amazing time, and that dress is very important to me since I have never had the best self-confidence, and it made me feel beautiful. Now my sister, 18 female, let's call her Annie, is having her prom later this year, and she asked if she could use my dress as well. She loves it and wishes to use it. I told her that I would prefer if she didn't, since it is so important to me. I also have a neurotic disorder, and it makes it hard for me to let other people use my things. And she said okay, and said she at least wanted to ask. But she was fine with finding another dress. I said I'd help pay if she wanted, and if she wanted, she was welcome to use the jewelry, and she will wear the hair accessories. I am pretty stable in income. Annie thanked me and said we could go shopping together. Now, I live about 3 hours away from my family due to school, and I don't go home often due to not having a car. I came home last week to visit, as my nephew's cousin's kids, she's like a sister, are getting baptized. When I walk through the front door to my parents' house, Annie is wearing my prom dress, and my grandma and mom are taking measurements. I ask them what they are doing, and they said that I'm being an AH for not letting Annie use it. She is my baby sister, after all, Mom's words. I got upset and screamed at Annie to take it off, which I later apologized for. She believed I changed my mind since Mom said I had agreed. I yelled at my mom and grandma because they tried to go behind my back and even changed the dress to better fit Annie. She is 155 pounds. I was almost 300 pounds when I wore it. I cried and yelled at them. As soon as Annie came back with my dress, I took it and packed it down, saying I'd stay with my cousin. Now my family is torn. Some people agree with me, and some say I'm an AH for not letting Annie use it. I don't feel like I was in the wrong for not letting her use it. After all, it was all my dress that I paid for, and I even offered to pay for her dress. So am I the AH? Edit. Since a lot of people have mentioned not wearing it again, I have worn it since. It's not the typical prom dress. It's more of a flowy summer dress. Also, the reason I didn't bring it with me is that I live in a dorm room, and I could only bring the essentials with me. Once I moved to a bigger place, I planned on bringing all my stuff to my new place. The dress is currently at my cousin's place, and I might bring it back with me when I go home. Please don't blame my sister for this. Her and I have talked it out, and we're on good terms. We will buy a dress together once her prom gets closer, May. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot, they are literally cutting up your dress that you paid for yourself. That's not letting your sister borrow it, that is making it for her and giving it to her. Your mother had no right to let her have your property. Honestly, if I were you, I'd demand that my mother pays me back for the sum of the dress, because what they are doing to it is irreversible. Not only that, but why would your sister put it on because your mother said so? It does not belong to her, so she shouldn't have been asked. Comment 2. If they are cutting up the dress to fit Annie's frame, then you're not letting her use it. You are giving her the dress. I don't see how they can make the dress fit you again after. Not the idiot, no is a no. Annie can also save for her things. Now, for the update. Hey Reddit, it's been a week since I posted about the prom dress drama with my sister Annie and my family. I've got an update for you all, and let me tell you, it's been a tense ride. So, after the whole blow-up at my parents' house, I stayed with my cousin, like I said I would. My cousin has always been the one person in the family who gets me. She's the cool, older cousin who taught me how to apply eyeliner and listened to my rants about school. We spent the evening eating junk food and watching movies, trying to forget about the dress disaster. The next day, I got a text from Annie. She was really sorry about everything and wanted to make it up to me. She suggested we go dress shopping that weekend, just the two of us, like we planned. I agreed, thinking it would be a good way to mend fences. Saturday rolls around, and Annie and I hit the mall. We're having a great time. laughing and trying on all sorts of dresses. Annie finds this gorgeous blue dress that fits her like a glove. She looks stunning, and I can tell she feels it too. I'm about to tell her that I'll buy it for her when my phone buzzes. It's a text from my mom, and my heart sinks. She's furious that I took the dress and that I'm spoiling Annie with a new one. She says I'm being selfish and that I should think about the family more. I'm so mad I can barely see straight. I show Annie the text, and she's just as shocked as I am. We decide to ignore it and continue our day. I buy the dress for Annie, and she's over the moon. We grab some ice cream to celebrate and head back to my cousin's place. Now, here's where things get really crazy. I get home, and there's a car in the driveway that I don't recognize. I walk in, and there's my ex-boyfriend, Jake, sitting at the kitchen table with my cousin. I haven't seen Jake since we broke up 2 years ago, after a messy fight over him flirting with other girls. My cousin and Jake were friends before we dated, but I didn't think they kept in touch. I'm shocked, and my cousin looks super guilty. She starts apologizing, saying Jake reached out to her because he heard about the family drama and wanted to see if I was okay. I'm not buying it. There's no way this isn't some kind of weird setup. Jake tries to talk to me, saying he's changed and he's sorry for how things ended between us. I'm not having any of it. I tell him to leave, and after some back and forth, he finally gets the message and goes. The next few days are a blur of family members calling and texting, taking sides in the dress debacle. Some are on my side, saying I have every right to keep my dress. Others are saying I'm being too harsh on Annie and should just let her wear it. I'm trying to stay out of it, focusing on my schoolwork and spending time with Annie, who's been really cool about everything. We're planning her hair and makeup for prom, and it's nice to have something positive to focus on. But then, yesterday, I get a call from my grandma. She's crying, saying she's sorry for taking Annie's side and that she didn't understand how important the dress was to me. She asks if we can forgive and forget. I tell her I need some time to think about it. So, I'm sitting here, trying to process everything that's happened in the past week. Annie has her new dress, my ex-boyfriend made a surprise appearance, and my family is still split down the middle. And to top it all off, there's a misunderstanding that I need to clear up. Apparently, my mom told everyone that the reason I bought Annie a new dress was that I felt guilty for yelling at her. That's not true at all. I bought the dress because I wanted to, not out of guilt. I've tried to explain this to my family, but it seems like they're more interested in the drama than the truth. I always decline group dinners because 2 couples are known freeloaders, but they show up this time. Oh boy, they didn't expect what I did. I was invited to a group dinner and decided to go. I usually decline because 2 couples in this group are freeloaders, and the split the check type. They order expensive items on the menu, appetizers and cocktails, while I get a moderately priced dish and a Coke. I was told they wouldn't be there this time, and that's why I decided to go. Well, they were there. I didn't bother asking what the story was because it didn't matter. I knew what was going to happen come check time. So I excused myself, went to flag down my server, and asked if he would please separate my bill from the others. He agreed. When time came to pay the bill, I handed the server my credit card and paid my bill. I tipped 25%. The freeloaders went, "Oh, I thought we were splitting like we always do." To which I said, "Oh, well, you're bad." But this prompted 2 other people in the group to ask for separate checks too, which the server happily did. After I paid, I told everyone good night and went on my way. The next day, I got a text from another person in the group, 9 total. The 2 freeloading couples and 5 solos, that I was an AH for doing that. They do normally split the bill, as it gives everyone a chance to have a nice meal they couldn't otherwise afford. And it also makes splitting the 20% group gratuity easier. I told her I would not be guilted into staying within my means and not paying for moochers. Then I said the only reason why I came was because I thought the mooch couples wouldn't be there because they've been doing this for years. Still, I'm being accused of disrupting the group vibe. Did I? I would think not, because of the 2 that also asked for separate bills. Update. I forwarded the text to the two people who also asked for separate bills. They both were upset by the text and reassured me that I was not the AH. They said they too were growing tired of the moochers and wished they stood up for themselves sooner. Then one of them said that the group vibe was disrupted when I first stopped coming. Everyone knew why, so it made the mooching the elephant in the room, and it's bad for not addressing it out of their need to go along to get along. The other agreed, and then they both said they missed having me there. That made me feel so good. The three of us then reached out to the solo member who didn't ask for a separate check. This person is also the organizer. The first thing she did was apologize to me for poor communication. She admitted they changed their minds about not coming in plenty of time to inform me, but she really wanted me to come. She realized she should have when she saw the look on my face. She said she was tired of the mooching too, but was too much of a coward to say something, which only fueled their "we always do it this way" ammo. She then filled us in on what happened after we left. Turns out the other two separate bills left shortly after I did. Everyone ended up getting separate checks, which made the two mooch couples angry. They justified their mooching the same way the chick in the text did. They have expenses we don't, and would it unalive us to help them have a little joy? Yeah, not happening, buddy. The four of us are going to start having a new group dinner at a different restaurant. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Whenever my husband and I go out to eat, he always tells the server prior to even getting drinks that he and I will be on one bill. Just so that from the get-go, it's clear that we're covering just for ourselves, and also not covering for our known moocher friend, lol. I wouldn't have even told your server in private. Next time, say it off the bat that you'll be on one bill, and the server will automatically separate it from the rest. Comment 2. Not the idiot. I see what you did there. You let the moochers run up their bill, then stuck them with it. But from now on, ask for the separate check immediately and in front of them. This will let them know you won't be taken advantage of ever again without actually saying so. Edited to clarify that OP should not actually say, "We're not going to let you take advantage of us again." Now, for the update. Hey Reddit, remember when I told you about that dinner with the freeloaders? Well, buckle up because the drama didn't end there. After the last update, things got even more heated. The two mooch couples, let's call them Jack and Jill and Bonnie and Clyde, were fuming after everyone got separate checks. They started a group chat without us four and went on a rant about how selfish we were. But guess what? One of the solo members, who we'll call Sam, was still in that chat and forwarded us the screenshots. It was a mess of entitlement and guilt tripping. Now, let's rewind a bit. Before all this, Jack and Jill had a history of pulling stunts like this. They once forgot their wallet at a birthday dinner and promised to pay back, but never did. Bonnie and Clyde weren't any better. They'd been known to order the priciest dishes and then claim they didn't have enough cash on them. It was a pattern that everyone noticed, but no one addressed. Back to the present, the four of us decided to meet up for our own dinner, and it was like a breath of fresh air. No tension, no calculating every penny, just good food and good company. We even started a tradition of rotating who picks the restaurant, so everyone gets a chance to try something new within their budget. Meanwhile, the freeloaders were still trying to play the victim card. They sent out a group email to the original dinner group, minus us, of course, detailing their financial struggles and how we were ruining their only chance at a nice night out. But here's the kicker. They accidentally CC'd one of us on that email. Talk about a slip-up. The email was eye-opening for the rest of the group. It was filled with half-truths and manipulations. For instance, Jack and Jill mentioned their mortgage and car payments, conveniently leaving out the brand new SUV they'd just bought. Bonnie and Clyde talked about their kids' expenses, but failed to mention the luxury vacation they'd just taken. This revelation caused a rift in the original group. Some felt sympathy for the freeloaders, while others were outraged by the deceit. It led to a heated exchange of emails, with accusations flying left and right. Sam, who was usually the peacemaker, finally snapped and told them off, revealing all the past incidents where they'd taken advantage of the group's generosity. The fallout was spectacular. The original dinner group disbanded, with some taking our side and others sticking with the freeloaders. But here's where karma comes into play, subtly but surely. Jack and Jill's SUV broke down, and without the group to mooch off, they struggled to cover the repairs. Bonnie and Clyde's vacation photos got them in hot water when their extended family saw the extravagance and cut them off from their casual loans. As for us, our new dinner group is thriving. We've become closer than ever, bonding over the shared experience and our newfound freedom from the freeloaders. We even started a small kitty fund, where we each put in a few bucks every dinner to cover someone's meal if they're having a tough month. No strings attached, no guilt tripping, just friends helping friends. The last I heard, the freeloaders tried to start their own dinner group, but word had gotten around about their antics, and they found it hard to find members willing to join. They were left to face the consequences of their actions, alone, and without the safety net they'd so often abused. Dad missed my birth because of his ex-girlfriend, Mia, and they are still friends. But now Mom is going on dates, and she asked Dad if I could stay with him on her days. When Dad saw Mom dressed up, he asked me where she was going. I responded harshly. Now he's not speaking to me or Mia. My 17-year-old parents divorced when I was born. I never got the full story from either of them, but my aunt told me it was because my dad missed my birth because of his ex-girlfriend Mia, who is still in his life. Mia is a spoiled, annoying woman who's unbearable when my father isn't paying attention to her. They aren't dating again, but have been best friends since childhood, so they're still close. Recently, my mom has had more free time because she started going on dates. She asked my dad if I could stay with him on one of her days, and when he came to pick me up, he saw that she was all dressed up. He asked me where she was going, and I told him the truth. He got upset and started asking me more questions, and I got frustrated and told him, "What Mom does isn't your business anymore. She's not your wife." He got quiet, and when we went home he didn't speak to me and just went to sleep. And when Mia came over the next morning, he didn't speak to her either, and I don't think he's spoken to her since. I think he told my aunt what happened. And then she told my mom, because they've both been saying what I said was harsh. I mean, I just told him the truth. They've been divorced for years now. Am I the idiot? Update. So all this happened like last week, and I just wanted to know if I was in the wrong. I did not expect to get much attention from it, but thank you all for the support. I read through most of the comments and decided I wanted to talk to both of my parents. I told them that I'm not going to be put in the middle of any more situations like this. It makes me uncomfortable, and I love them both equally, despite my upbringing. They understood and apologized, especially my dad. I also told him that Mia isn't healthy and he shouldn't be enabling her. I was shocked to find out that my parents have been talking since the incident last week and decided to try again. My father said he would be going to therapy, and he and my mom would do couples counseling, and if I'd like to try family therapy, they'd be happy to. They said they both loved each other and realized that after their many failed attempts at dating, and honestly, at this point, I don't really care. It may be 17 years too late, but at least they're trying. Also, Mia doesn't live with my dad. He inherited my grandparents' house, and her house is like next door. My aunt is a bit of a gossip, so once I was old enough and started questioning why my parents separated, I knew I'd get her to spill. She also happened to be very drunk when I asked her. Please don't be mean to her. Thank you all again. Also, yes, I am 17 years old and can stay home by myself, and even if my mother did do whatever she wanted when she came home that night, I would rather not be in the house. Please stop asking. It makes me want to cry. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the jerk. In Dad's mind, Mom would be celibate and single all her life, because that's what he was comfortable with. Now he's realized he isn't the center of the universe. It's a sobering reality for him. Only took 17 years. Comment 2. You are not the jerk, Possum. You just told a fully grown man that someone he used to see as his isn't his at all, and it's got him right in the feels. Good for you for standing up for your mom. Now for the update. A lot has happened since my last post, and I've got quite the update for you all. After the whole ordeal with my dad getting upset about my mom dating, things took a turn I never saw coming. First off, let me fill you in on a bit of history that I didn't mention before. My mom and dad were high school sweethearts. They were that couple everyone thought would last forever. But when I was born, things fell apart. My dad wasn't there for my birth because of Mia, and that was the last straw for my mom. They split, and I've been living in the aftermath ever since. Now, back to the present. After my last post, I had a heart-to-heart with both my parents. I told them I was tired of being stuck in the middle of their issues. It was a tough conversation, but it needed to happen. They both apologized, and I could tell they were sincere. My dad especially seemed to take it to heart. But here's the jaw-dropping part. My parents have been secretly talking since that night my dad saw my mom all dressed up. They've been discussing their past, their mistakes, and what they still feel for each other. And guess what? They've decided to give their relationship another shot. They're going to therapy, both individually and together, and they've even suggested family therapy for us. I know, I was as shocked as you probably are right now. After 17 years of being apart, they're trying to work things out. I'm not sure how to feel about it, but if they're happy, then I guess that's what matters. As for Mia, well, she's still around, but things have changed. My dad finally realized that their relationship was unhealthy. He's been setting boundaries with her, which is a huge step for him. And yes, she lives next door in the house she inherited from her own grandparents, which is why she's always been so present in our lives. Now let's talk about my aunt. She's always been the family gossip, and I knew she'd spill the beans about my parents' past if I asked her at the right time. I was right. One night, she had a bit too much to drink, and out came the whole story. I don't hold it against her. Though, she's always been there for me, in her own way. Things at home have been different. My mom and dad are trying to navigate this new old relationship, and it's weird seeing them together like this. They're like awkward teenagers again, stealing glances and smiling for no reason. It's kind of cute, but also super strange. And before you ask, yes, I'm still 17 and perfectly capable of staying home alone. But after everything that's happened, I'm glad I wasn't home alone that night my mom went out. It sparked a whole chain of events that led us here. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.